I got this question in various shapes and forms. I'm a kid with less than 2 years experience, or I'm a fresher. How do I get into DevOps? So I'll answer this question as I start watering my plans. So your path into DevOps depends on what's your background like. For example, are you even from IT or from a non-IT background? And more importantly, how comfortable are you with the fundamentals of DevOps or with the prerequisites of DevOps? Do you understand an operating system or not? Are you comfortable with bash scripting? Do you know at least one Windows or Linux? Do you know how to build and deploy an application? Stuff like that. Once you know that you're comfortable with the prerequisites, there's a fork in the road. You have to decide whether you want to get into a core DevOps engineer role or you want to get into an allied DevOps engineer role. You know, people like a DevRel, a developer relations, or a community builder, because the roadmap for both of these are different. I've created a dedicated video on a DevOps roadmap for an IT and a non-IT professional. You can go check it out. I'll also pin it in the comments below. To be doing so many things: a full-time job, YouTube videos, blogs, community work, article, and stuff like that. How the heck do you manage your day, and what productivity tools do you prefer? That's a great question. Let me break it down into two paths: managing the day and then productivity tools. So in managing the day, we have a very big calendar which is hand drawn on two pieces of chart paper stuck on the wall in our home. It's the current month and the next month. That's how it always is. All sorts of appointments and important things like birthdays, anniversaries, school events, that kind of stuff, that gets into the calendar. Now, we thought about going digital with the calendar, but the feeling of looking at the big calendar, staring at it, gives you a feeling of confidence and in control. So you like to keep it that way. Another brilliant app that I and my wife Manpreet use is called Groceries. It is freaking brilliant. The way it works is, if she wants me to buy something from the market, she's just enter it and then it syncs to my groceries account. It's magical. There's no more of, hey, I told you to get this, you forgot. Solved through technology, man. Automation in everything that we do. On the productivity side, I am a keyboard junkie. I love my keyboard and I don't like touching the mouse to do different stuff. Not me. So I have a Logitech MX Master keys. The keyboard is a butter. Try it out if you haven't. And I use a MX Master mouse, which I try not to use. Along with that, I use a widescreen monitor along with my MacBook Pro screen. So it's a dual screen setup. I will go upstairs and show it to you. And I've been using this sort of a dual screen setup for a long time now. It's very handy when you want to reference something on the smaller screen and you want to do actual work on the big screen, plus have an MS Teams window and different other stuff going on. Super useful thing. On the apps and the tools thing, I am a Mac fanboy. And the reason is the sheer ease of integration and the beauty of that thing. And one of my favorite apps there is Alfred. It's a third-party app which super powers your MacBook. Unfortunately, it's only for Mac, but there are a couple of Windows equivalents out there as well. It is super powerful and it gives me text expansion abilities, it gives me hotkeys, and it gives me clipboard history, which is beautiful. Definitely try it out. How do we get good sleep in today's environment of always digitally connected, and how do you manage that? It's another good question, and I am guilty of it. I do not get enough sleep and I could always use more. But the fact of the matter is, the reason I don't get enough sleep is not because I'm hooked onto social media. It's because I'm editing these videos or working on several other projects that I'm excited about. And it's the excitement that keeps me awake. One life, live it to the fullest, right? One guideline which I use is that you should follow your body rhythm. Figure out if you're a morning person or if you're a night owl. Understand your body rhythm and follow the body rhythm. This is a real tree, by the way. Yeah, it was not background. It's the sun setting in the background. There we go. Looks beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, I come here every evening to watch this for 10-15 minutes. It's amazing. Okay, so the next part of that question, the way that I like to keep myself free from digital distractions is Ankur Wariku's method. He's a very popular YouTuber. He recommends that you schedule time for your distractions. So block half an hour for Instagram, block an hour for YouTube or for Netflix, whatever, but block it in your calendar and block it in your non-productive time. So if you're most productive in the mornings, block it later. If you're most productive at night, block this viewing time somewhere else when typically during the day you feel down. That way, you enjoy your shows and your social media and you don't feel freaking guilty about it. I've seen you reference a lot about spirituality in your videos. How do I get started with spirituality? Now, this is a question which I've been getting asked very often. So I've been thinking about it a lot. Here's my 3-step framework for really getting started in spirituality. Step number 1, go to YouTube and search for 10-minute guided meditation. You'll get a ton of those. Click on any one that attracts you and get started with it. Make it a practice, get it into the flow. Step number 2, get a meditating app. Things like a Calm or a Headspace, any one of those. And get into the rhythm of doing meditation every single time. Step number 3, if and when you reach this stage, you know that shit is getting serious. At this point, look for a local course on meditation in your city. I'm sure you'll find one if you look good enough. It could be Art of Living, it could be Inner Engineering, it could be the Wim Hoffman method. Any one of those is fine or anything else is okay too. Like they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Very good, Nanki. Well done. Well done. I've been reading a lot about personal brand and you also refer to it quite a lot. I have about 2 years of experience. Is personal branding really related to me or is it for people with a lot more experience? Personal brand, the way I like to define it, is the perception that I would create about you in 30 seconds if I looked you up on, let's say, LinkedIn or did a Google search. Of course, the perception can change if I search more, but 99.99% people will not do that. At 2 years experience, my dear friend, you're already 4 years late to start building your personal brand. Look at people like Kunal Kushwaha, who started contributing to open source and started building their personal brand when they were in their first or second year of college. By the time he passed out, he had multiple international offers and today he's a DevRel at CIVO located at London. Like the old men say, the best time to start building your personal brand was yesterday. The next best time is today. Remote work pay really well. And everybody talks about the advantages of remote work. What are some of the disadvantages of remote work? Well, of course, remote work pays absolutely stunningly well. Why the heck would I be doing it otherwise? So, jokes apart, let me talk about some of the disadvantages of remote work. Number 1, you're not physically at the same office as your colleagues, assuming not everybody is working remotely. At 2 years experience, my dear friend, you're already 4 years late to start building your personal brand. Look at people like Kunal Kushwaha, who started contributing to open source and started building their personal brand when they were in their first or second year of college. By the time he passed out, he had multiple international offers and today he's a DevRel at CIVO located at London. Number 2, time zone difference. Specifically, if you're located in India and you work in the US, it's a a complete opposite body clock which can play on your body. Number 3, cultural nuances and the differences in that between the country that you're located in and the country where majority of your colleagues are located in. And that's important if you're in a senior leadership role where you need to talk to people, you need to coerce them to go along with you in certain things and stuff like that. And the 4th and the most important thing, office banter. The fun of hanging out with your colleagues in person, immeasurable. However, I have been working remotely for the last over a year, and me along with my colleagues have figured out a way to solve almost all of these issues. If you're determined, honest, and you invest in building good relationships, anything can be solved. I am from a tier 2, tier 3 college, which nobody's ever heard of. Will it hurt my chances of getting a remote job? Honest answer, most of the people that will interview you for remote jobs, at best, they would have heard of IITs and maybe IIMs. So if you're not from this college and from anywhere else, it doesn't matter whether you're from a tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 college or city. It doesn't matter because they don't know the difference anyways. The only thing that matters in remote jobs is your skill and your ability to showcase your skills. Let me know if you want me to make a video on how to showcase your skills effectively. I'll look into it. What are your personal goals for 2023? I have 2 big goals for 2023. That's big, hairy, audacious goals. Number 1 was to write a book on the topic of spirituality and success, where I talk about how you can use the principles of spirituality to succeed in your career and at home. This is already work in progress. I have the publisher and we are working on the final versions of the draft. Should be released in about a month and a half to 2. The second big goal is to do a TEDx talk. I have no idea how to approach that yet. If any of you can help me in this regard or can give me some references, I would really appreciate that. Those are the 2 big goals for 2023. Amen. Like they say, good luck and Godspeed. See you in the next one.